The name, Strait of Hormuz, carries an invisible tension every time it appears in the news, political analysis, or discussions about war. A narrow waterway, yet one that holds the balance of the global economy on its shoulders. Every single day, countless ships pass through this route, carrying oil, fuel, and with them, the future of the modern world. But the real question is it just a shipping lane? Or is there something far deeper hidden within this place? Something we still fail to fully understand. Because the truth is, Hormuz is far more than what appears on a map. It is not just a line between two coastlines. It is a reality where nature, history, and humanity's struggle for survival have combined to create something mysterious and powerful. Imagine a place where the heat of the sun is so intense that midday brings life to a halt. Hot winds, dry land, fresh water more valuable than gold. A place where survival itself becomes a daily challenge. And yet, for thousands of years, empires came here. Merchants crossed dangerous seas. Explorers risked their lives to reach this region. But why? What is hidden here that keeps pulling humanity back again and again? To understand the answer, you cannot simply look at Hormuz. You have to feel it. The moment you step onto Hormuz Island, the first thing you notice is its unbelievable color. Red, yellow, orange, purple, mountains layered like strokes on a giant canvas. It feels as if nature itself painted this land. But behind this beauty lies millions of years of history. Volcanic heat, pressure from the sea, and endless geological change shaped every layer of this island. These mountains are not just rocks. They are marks left by time itself. Every layer tells a story of fire, water, destruction, and transformation. Standing here feels almost unreal, like stepping onto another planet. Yet hidden inside this beauty is a harsh reality. Life here has never been easy. But the people of Hormuz do not fight the environment. They understand it. Because they know they cannot change nature, so they adapt themselves instead. Life here moves with the rhythm of the heat. Work begins before sunrise. Everything stops at noon, and life returns again after sunset. Their homes are built carefully to survive the climate. Thick walls, small windows, open airflow. Nothing exists without purpose. And perhaps that is the real lesson of Hormuz. Survival is not about having endless resources. It is about knowing how to use what you already have. Every day, massive oil tankers pass beside this island. So large they look like floating cities on the horizon. These ships carry a major portion of the world's energy supply. On one side, a global economy worth trillions of dollars. On the other, small villages where people quietly continue their daily lives. Both realities exist together here, but they belong to completely different worlds. And that contrast is what makes Hormuz so fascinating. Even the sea itself is unusual. The water temperature here is so extreme that many coral species elsewhere on Earth could never survive. But the corals of Hormuz adapted over thousands of years. Those that failed disappeared. Those that survived became stronger. These coral reefs are not just beautiful. They are life itself. Fish, fishermen, and entire coastal ecosystems depend on them. But today, that balance is slowly breaking apart. Pollution, oil traffic, rising temperatures, and human pressure are weakening this fragile system. And when balance collapses here, the effects travel far beyond this region. Near these waters grows another miracle. Mangrove forests that survive in salt water where ordinary trees could never live. These trees filter salt through their roots and release it through their leaves. But these forests are more than trees. They are nurseries of life. Countless marine species begin their lives here. Entire food chains depend on them. Losing these forests would not just mean losing nature. It would mean losing an entire future. And in the middle of all this stands the Strait of Hormuz itself, a narrow passage. Yet one of the most important waterways on Earth. Even a small disruption here can affect the entire world. But the people who live here see things differently. To them, this is not fear. This is life. They understand the sea, the wind, the rhythm of time itself. And this is where the real story begins. Because Hormuz is not just a location. It is a warning. The world is changing, and those who fail to adapt may not survive what comes next. But Hormuz is not only about nature and survival. It is also one of the most politically sensitive places on Earth. This narrow waterway carries nearly 20% of the world's oil supply every single day. That means Hormuz is not simply a trade route. It is one of the lifelines of the global economy. You may live thousands of miles away, but if something happens here, the consequences could still reach your life. That is why invisible pressure always surrounds this region. Powerful nations constantly watch this strait. Warships patrol nearby waters. Every movement matters. The passage is so narrow that